Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation, a show where I just kind of talk and you just kind of listen. You don't have to, fully listen, because honestly, it's just a bunch of rambling nonsense, but hey, just listen. Trust me, it's totally worth your time. Yeah, hope you're doing well. I just ate, so I'm probably gonna burp. My voice probably sounds very wet. Deal with it. I'm sorry. I've got work in 40 minutes, so this isn't going to be too long of an episode, but it's going to be an episode nonetheless. And I'm also recording this a day ahead, because there's going to be some people in my room fixing some shit up. It's not to do with my room, it's mostly just plumbing things. Plumbing's a bitch, let me tell you that. But either way, so I'm recording this a little early, so I don't have too much to talk about for this week in retail, except and on Sunday, somebody made the most unholy concoction in our bathroom, our men's bathroom. Someone asked where the bathroom was, told him where it was, he went in there, I don't even know how long after he comes out, and he comes up to me, which is respectable, I respect this. He says, hey, it was an accident in there, I apologize, I tried to fix it, but I'm sorry, I gotta go. And then he waddled away, and waddled away was exactly the description that is correct. And okay, I'm assuming it's pretty bad, so I go to get some stuff to clean it, and then one of my coworkers comes over, and it's like, did you hear about the bathroom? And I was like, yeah, it's probably supposed to be gross. And she's like, oh yeah. So they were able to smell it from in that little hallway between the bathroom and the store. I'm like, oh shit, that's no bueno. And so I go take a look in there, and I don't know what to think. Before my eyes was an unbelievable, unsurmountable mountain of paper towel. Not toilet paper, paper towel. On the floor, like 1.5 feet tall, of paper towel. And everywhere around it, the floor, the wall next to it, the turlet, coated, caked, smeared in feces, in Duke. There was Duke everywhere. It wasn't terrible. We've had a worse situation with the women's bathroom, with the men's bath. That was just, it was awful. It was atrocious. It was disgusting. There was no good, horrible, very bad bathroom etiquette. And obviously, he didn't mean for it to happen. No one means to do that. No one's insane. But yeah. So that was just an interesting thing to walk into. You don't really think about it till you walk into the grossest bathroom ever. The thing that really astonished me was how smeared. And it looked old. Every poop on that wall, in that floor, looked old. It looked like it was there for decades. Because it looked just so naturally smeared on, and it looked like people had been stepping on it over and over again. And it just kind of caked onto the fucking floor. But no, it was fresh, clean, not clean. It was fresh, it was new. And I don't know how he did it. And I was about to clean it until one of my coworkers calls and is like, "Nope, you're gonna get someone to clean that. 'Cause that's disgusting." And I was like, okay. So I just called people to go clean it, and you know what? They did clean it, and they cleaned it pretty good. Except one of my coworkers thinks there was also shit on carpet outside the bathroom. But I have no recollection of that. I don't have any, I cannot confirm or deny, because I didn't, my sniffer doesn't really work very well, so I couldn't really tell you, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that was pretty much this week in retail. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy, just a bunch of fun old good times. And now that brings us to our topic for today, which, as you can tell by the title, is being a regular. And what do I mean by this? I don't mean a regular person, because I don't really think I'm that regular of a person. If I typed in most average looking man in his early 20s, you probably wouldn't see me, just because the hair is a big giveaway. But what I mean is regular at a store or a business or some building or some just general area, to the point where people know who you are, whether they like you or not. They know exactly who you are and what sort of presence you're going to be bringing to the table. And then, you know, sometimes they'll even be excited and happy that you're there. And it's an interesting feeling that I've had happen a surprising amount of times in my life. And I gotta say, it feels pretty dang nice, I gotta say. Um, the most recent of which, I guess I'll just start with that. There is a pizza place that is right kind of like close to where I work, and it's a phenomenal place. It's delicious, and every time I come out, I still have a little bit of time left, and I'll go out there and I'll grab a sandwich. I'll grab a barbecue pulled pork sandwich with extra barbecue sauce, and sometimes I'll change it to cheese if I'm feeling crazy. But I order that sandwich, and then sometimes it'll be days later where I'll go back again. Sometimes a couple weeks later. There was one point where it was like a month later, and I actually go back in there again. And I go in there, wanting my sandwich, and the guy who's up there is like, I gotcha. And he puts in my order without me even saying what I want. He knows exactly what sandwich, what to add on to it. And you know what? I get it, and I open it, and it's my sandwich, and I eat it, and it's delicious. So that is great. Just the luxury of not even having to order food is crazy, because they know what you want, and you just put in your card, and then bada bing, bada boom, you get it done. And if you want something else, like, okay, I'm also going to get this on top of that, and they're like, hell yeah, dude, why not? And it's kind of to the point where, since my sister's been back, we've been going there a bit more frequently, and the guy who owns the place, such a lovely man. He wears a silly chef hat, and I love it. It's really he's just a great guy, and he's been like giving us free food sometimes. Like one time we went in there and we were like, let's get a pie before we go, back home. And it's like, okay, cool. So we get a pie and we're gonna sit down. And as we're ordering it, he's like, you know what? I got you. It's on me. Don't worry about it. And we're like, oh, what? Really? And it was just so nice. It was so unexpected, because we were like, maybe we'll get it. We really do want it, but it's also just like, we probably had food at home, but we were like, yeah, fuck it. This pizza's delicious. We want some, and by God did we get some, and we got it for free. And I felt really bad, so I also ordered a sandwich, and then gave him like a decent tip, because I was just like, this is too kind, because he has a tip while you're ordering, so I don't have cash to put in the jar, so I was like, I'll just tip them when I get my own food, because goddamn, they're awesome. And I even have a nickname over there. I'm Big Red over there, because of the big red hair, if that's not obvious. I don't know, it's just an interesting feeling, going to a place and being like their own personal celebrity. it's fun. I like it. It's not like super highbrow crazy. I'm not like expecting them to like wipe my shoes and give me free food all the time. I order most of my food, but it's also gotten to the point where the people who I go in with, my sisters and stuff, they'll go in there and try to get like a cannoli or a slice or two, and he just gives it to them, or he gives them something a little extra, or like they tell us about like the newer things on the menu as we're going in to see if we want to try it. And it's like, dude, this is awesome. Because up until this point, I lived in, Brooklyn, New York for a long time, and I would go to many pizza places, but there's a couple specific ones that I would go to a lot, and I'd go in there, and unless there was like one person working there who specifically knew us a lot, it was pretty much just a, hey, what are you getting, and then you get it and go. Which is completely fair. That's just a normal, standard routine for any business, so I'm completely fine with that. I'm not saying I deserved better treatment just because I've been there numerous times within the week. But it's a different experience when you go somewhere and the people are genuinely excited to have your business. And they just enjoy you being around so much that they just give you stuff. It's really nice. And again, I don't try to take more than I'm willing to receive, because that's just I don't like that they give us stuff. I'm more than happy to pay for it, but if they're giving it to us, what am I gonna? I'm not gonna reject their gift. That'd be kind of fucked up. So thank you to this pizza place. They're really good. I'm not. I could give it. I'm just me and my privacy about where I'm located is kind of important, at least to me. So you ain't getting that. But the thing is, though, I've had this experience before. I've had it numerous times, actually, but it was never with like a pizza place. It was with like delis around my home back in Brooklyn. Like there was one right across the street from where it was like I lived on one corner, the deli was on that corner. Like if I crossed the street, the other that corner, and then if I kept going, and like if I took a left on that corner was my school. So very convenient school, deli, home, deli, school sort of situation. If I wanted to grab something on my way home or there, that deli was there. And I would go there every day, multiple times a day. And so was the rest of my family. My whole family was a big partaker in this deli. And so were other families and stuff. So I'm sure they probably got very similar treatment. But at the same time, I don't know that for sure. Because the way, specifically at this deli, there was an older man who worked there, who was like practically my best friend at some points, to an extent. Like this dude was a nutcase in the best possible way he could have been a nutcase. Every time I'd go in there, like especially for the last few years, when I went to high school, before we moved here. Every single time I would walk into that store and he was there, we'd lock eyes, we'd scrunch our faces, and just like rock our heads side to side. We just do that. I don't know why. I don't know how it started, quite frankly, but it was the funniest fucking thing in the world. It was so good, and that's like whenever my sisters or anyone would go in there, they'd just laugh and be confused. And so would we. We wouldn't know what the fuck we were doing. It was just our immediate instinct. Like it wasn't even like a this guy does it. That's kind of weird. I'll do it too. We both just sort of had that little weird kick in our brain. Like we're gonna do this to each other. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know why. Oh, that place was the best. That place was so freaking cool. They had a lot of just cheap snacks, and they had like really good beef patties and stuff. And it always, and like similar to the pizza place, it got to a point where I'd go in there. And I would go up to the counter without like a bag of chips. Sometimes like, oh, you want a beef patty? And like, oh yeah. And like, American cheese? I'm like, yeah. Or sometimes I'll be like, you know what? Try the Swiss or something. Just go wacky. Just give me one. Dealer's choice. Give me some cheese. It was so good. And every time they get like the big loaves of bread in, we'd be like, dude, we'll take a couple of those. And it's like, oh, here you go. We'll go in there, and I'd be like, we got the bread for you, and you get the bread. It was great. And again, this is a really just warming place. 'Cause again, it wasn't just me too; it was the rest of my family pretty much. But I feel like me and that old man had something going that no one else could see. You know, it was a whole new world. But it was great. It was awesome. And there have been times in that store before where I either just wouldn't have enough money to pay for something. Sometimes I would lose the money on the way on the like 2-minute walk. Not even 2 minutes, like the minute tops walk. For that one block, that one stretch of sidewalk, I'd lose the money. And he just give me the stuff. Like, take it, it's fine. You pay me back later. And they never pushed for us to give it back later. Sometimes we would, a lot of times we didn't, and it felt bad, but they didn't seem to mind. It was just sort of like a, hey, don't worry about it, it's on us sort of thing. And I felt bad again, but it was just like, thank you, that's some of the nicest shit. Damn, that was a good one. That was just super cool, super nice. And it wasn't even just this deli. Like this was the main deli, because this is the one I went to the most. But whenever I would go to like the library, or I'd go to the train station, because towards high school I'd go to the train station a lot. They had a deli by the train station that had a lot of very good sandwiches, and so I'd go in there and be like, hey, I want like a bagel or whatever on this or that. I want like these cheese fry things you got going. They had good food. They had very good food. And again, and this was like it was mostly at the library. I feel like it sort of fizzled out because I think the owners changed when I got into like the middle of my high school sort of shtick. But from like 10 to like 15 or 16, I would go into that store, and like the first like few times it was just kind of like a, hey, you know, we'd have some riff-raff, talk a little bit, and just have a good time. And then he just at the end of the thing he'd be like, here, have 2 of these. Have 1 of these. Take this. Or just like, take this sandwich. I'm not gonna charge you for it. Or like, hey, pick 3 candies off the thing and just take them. Go give them some to your family and whatever. Give me a bunch of like loose freaking like Starbursts and shit. Probably tried to kill me, honestly. No, but no, it was nice. It was just a nice gesture. It was just really, really sweet. He just give me shit. And like I remember one time specifically, I remember him giving something to me. Like, I was at the library and I was pretty late, and I went over there to grab like a snack or something, and then he gives me like these like little weird marshmallow cookie things. It's like pink and white marshmallow on top of like a little cookie thing. It's like a square. I don't know what they're called. I don't know where to get them. I didn't eat them because I didn't like marshmallow at the time, but I took them. He gave me like 2 or 3 of the bars with like 6 of them in there. I'm like, oh, thank you. It's awesome. He just chucked them in the bag. Then I gave them to my sisters, and they seemed to enjoy them, so hey, whoop-de-doo. It was good. It was good stuff. I really did enjoy those people. They really did make a living there pretty damn good, I gotta say. Because I mean, like, everyone has like their own take on the city life and stuff, but we didn't live like Manhattan, like New York City. We lived Brooklyn, New York City, which was very homey. And it was just really nice. It was a very lovely place. And I cannot go. Sorry, there's a tornado happening outside my door right now. So the biggest place that I was definitely a regular, if it like apart from that deli, was definitely the bagel store that was like a couple blocks away from that. And I'm absolutely gonna name this place Tasty Bagels, because A, they closed recently, which I found out right as I was going back to Brooklyn to see my friends. That hurt. That hurt hard. No, they just got tired of they lived out their bagel career. They didn't get shut down for any reason in particular. They figured they did enough, and they definitely could have done more. But I'm happy with the time I got with them. They made the best bagels. That's the other reason why I'm pointing them out. They had plaster on their wall, Brooklyn's best bagel, and I'm willing to believe that tenfold, because those bagels were so good. Like, any Brooklyn bagel you get is 90 million times better than any bagel you get anywhere else. And I say that with full certainty because it is true. And fuck you. I've been to Brooklyn. I've been to other states. I've been to New Jersey, I've been to Pennsylvania, and maybe something up. I don't really know where else. Probably just those 2, actually. But none of their bagels compare. New Jersey, I hate being in New Jersey. Any step into New Jersey makes me want to cry. So there was one time, this is a quick sidebar, I went to a pizza place. Not the one over, not the regular one from here. A different pizza place. And I went in there, I was going to get 2 slices, and I was going to go have a good time. And some lady is standing there also ordering, and she's clearly from a city because she's loud and obnoxious and very, I almost said buoyant, but that's not the right word. Vamboyant? One of those is a word I'm looking for, maybe. But she was talking, and she was like, oh yeah, this pizza's good, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. I've been here like once before. It's pretty nice. I enjoy it. And she's like, yeah, but you know what? It has nothing on like a nice, good, nothing beats a nice, good New Jersey pizza. And that made me want to actually vomit in her face. I didn't, but I really wanted to, because the whole premise that anything New Jersey makes is good is sad. Is a sad experience to have, and it's only people who live in New Jersey that think New Jersey is good. When people go to New York and experience a bagel, maybe a pizza, I feel like pizza can be good at other places, like this one here in Pennsylvania, pretty good. But like bagel especially, no one gets a bagel right except for New York. At least from where I've been. There could be good bagels anywhere else, but from where I've been, especially New Jersey, they don't got shit on that. But when people go to New York and they get a bagel or a slice of pizza, they're like, holy shit, that's amazing. This is good. When people go to New Jersey, they're like, oh yeah, this is pizza. No, you don't get your whole fucking mind exploded and enlightened in a joyful whimsy. But back to the topic. This bagel store was so good, and we'd go there like every day, or at least every other day, especially every Wednesday, because they had a deal where you get 6 bagels, you get 6 free, so you can literally just get a dozen bagels for like $6. It's awesome. And we'd always do that. And we ate bagels like fucking nothing, so we'd get like 2 dozen bagels, and we'd scarf them down in like 2, maybe 3 days, because they're just so good. They were so good. It made such good sandwiches. Even if you didn't get cream cheese, you could just put like deli meat on it and shit. It was so good. Or you can just ate the bagel. That's the thing. A good bagel can be eaten without anything else on it. And my God, not by God, my God, they succeeded at that. It was delicious, and now no one can ever taste it. Now I can never taste a tasty bagel ever again, and it's sad. It's very sad. If you can't tell, I'm congested. I'm not crying, I'm just congested, but I will start crying fairly soon. So, to wrap up, not really to wrap up, but we're winding down on the good side of being a regular. So there's stores I've been at I just really enjoyed, and to mention Tasty Bagels again, sorry, I didn't really go over that. We'd go there, and they'd know what sandwiches we'd want. Some, like, if there were a lot of, pretty much everyone there, like, there was like 3 main people who worked there, and those 3 people knew exactly what we'd order. Like, there was one time where we brought in a whole list, like a little, like, page list of things we were gonna get, and the lady who worked at the counter knew exactly what everything on that list was, except for one new sandwich that my sister was trying, because it was like a new different type of cream cheese they wanted to try. They knew everything else to a T. To a fucking T. It was crazy. But they always knew what we wanted. Never go in there. I especially if I just went in there, bacon, egg, and cheese on a sesame seed bagel. Mwah. Delicious. Don't even toast a bagel, because I love a nice soft bagel, and they make a good soft bagel. A toasted bagel's still good, but I like a soft bagel. It's so good. God, they're so good, and they're just awesome. They're really nice, and we just have chats and just talk about things. And if we didn't come in for like a week or so, they're like, "Hey, where you been? We missed you." And it's just good. It was really good. I really enjoyed that experience. It's awesome. But yeah, so that's the good side of being a regular. Of course, bad sides exist. I accidentally hit my keyboard with my phone. That was pretty good of me, pretty professional. What I mean by this is, quite simply, there are some places where people fucking hated my skin. And I feel like one of those was certain, I feel like this is relatable to everybody, certain classrooms you go to in school. Like, my 3rd grade teacher, every time I'd walk into that room, it's like she had an aneurysm because she hated me so much. And I've talked about it before. I didn't really do most of her classwork or homework. I did classwork. I didn't do any of her homework because I didn't fucking want to, because she was a bitch. I hated her. 5th grade class, everyone, pretty much from like, by most of my like middle school year, I was kind of like the stank kid, which is like, you know, true, but I'm not gonna say I wasn't. But they didn't exactly no, I wasn't exactly treated with grace about it. But hey, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It happened, and it's over now. But yeah. So just generally my whole like not K to 8, more like 5 to 8 was eventually the big moments where I was kind of just like sort of just manhandled by the assholes of my school. But I mean, at the same time, then I also had some regulars in my classes. Like, there were certain people that I knew if I wanted to talk to, I wasn't going to, because they were just the worst. Everyone has like the sort of, that person is someone I could talk to during art class, and this person I'll chill with in math and have a good time. Like, there's always like a person. And most of the time it's the same person, but there's certain times where there's different people you want to talk to. But also, speaking of school regulars, there was every Wednesday at my K to 8 school was pretzel day. And every Wednesday, I'd go over there, and I'd buy 5 whole big-ass soft pretzels, because they were always $1. So 5, always very soggy, but so good. So delicious soft pretzels. And another regular thing that happened was one of my friends would always ask for one, and I'd give it to him. And the thing is, he wasn't like a friend. He didn't really sit with me during lunch. He'd just ask for a pretzel, and I'd give him a pretzel, and that became a regular thing. So every Wednesday, I'd get 5. I'd wind up with 4. I'd give him a pretzel. and no one else would get any from me. Maybe my sister if she asked really nicely, but no, they're my pretzels. And I wouldn't even eat lunch. Sometimes I would if it was good, but most of the time I didn't really eat lunch because I didn't like burgers, and I liked their chicken, but it was never cooked correctly. That was a regular thing. But yeah, so I always just ate pretzels on Wednesdays. That was a very regular thing. And they started knowing that, so they'd always just have like some aside and be like, okay, we'll make sure we had some for you, because sometimes our lunch was after certain people, and sometimes they fucking bought pretzels like it was nothing. But I always had 5 saved up for me. It was great. I was fat. But hey, what are you gonna do? It's pretzels. I don't care. I have no regrets there. But yeah, other than school, there was a particular man in a particular building that did not like me. Did not like me there whatsoever. And also, apparently my older sister was not a big celebrity. A good celebrity over there either. And that was the Brooklyn Public Library. There's probably more, but the one I'm thinking of was right by my school. Not like right by, but it was like pretty close. And it was just a library. There's an upstairs spot for the children. There's a downstairs spot for the non-children, and then you'd go your separate ways. And one big regular thing, this is another side tangent that I would always do, is I'd never be able to get a fucking library card, because they always have some stupid stipulations, like, oh, you have to have a parent. Oh, you don't have to have a parent anymore, but you have to have some old mail with your address on it. Like, I'm fucking 11? What mail do you think I have? You know, it's the dumbest shit. And I never would wind up with a fucking library card at that place. I just wanted to read books and use the computers. You had to just like swipe your card at the computer in order to actually fucking play anything or use the computer. So what would wind up happening is I'd just kind of be very rambunctious, and I'd be kind of just, because I'd be wanting to do something, but I couldn't really do anything because I didn't have a stupid card. So I'd just be just dicking around, and it caught the attention of one specific security guard, not any other specific security guard or worker there. They didn't care about me. They didn't bat 2 shits. But this one security guard hated me. Every time I'd go to that library, which is the only library I've ever really been into, he'd immediately like come up to me and be like, "You're not gonna cause any trouble today, are you?" And I'm like, "No, sir," because he's older than me. So he's also he's got like a weapons on him, so you gotta treat him with some respect there. So I'm like, "Yes, sir, I'm gonna behave my butt off. You have no idea." And obviously he'd be like, "Yeah, right," and then I wouldn't behave, and then he kicked me out of the library for the day. That happened once when I was with one of my friends and his younger brother. He was working on something on the computer, so it was just the 2 of us just dicking around. We deserved it this day in particular, because we literally were just running around, just riding the elevators, running around, knocking things over, mostly by accident, just hiding under things, doing like parkour over things, and it actually worked, booted by that security guard. Completely fair, completely respectable. That would actually have been the first time that happened. Because after that, he definitely didn't like me going there. But, you know, that was a weird day. Because after that, we just walked around looking for loose change on the ground and a laundromat so we could buy a little bag of chips. It was a weird day. It was a very weird day. I never really talked to him from there. Like, it was weird because me and that friend were pretty close, and me and his younger brother, we didn't really know each other, but we were just talking and shit, and we got pretty close. And then on that one day, and then after that day, I never spoke to him ever again. He didn't want to speak to me, and I didn't really care to speak to him. So it was kind of just, it was a weird thing. But you know, sometimes people just don't cross again. You know what you're gonna do. But yeah, so I say that a lot. Apparently, I've really just noticed I say "but yeah" a lot. One thing that my manager has told me that I do a lot is say, like, I'm under my breath, I almost like, "Alright," or like, okay, which I know I do, but I didn't think I did it that much, to the point where he was like, "Oh, stop doing that." It's so depressing sounding. I'm like, what? I'm just I didn't really think anything of it. It's kind of something I did. But yeah. So there's always downsides to being a regular. You know, sometimes you're a regular in a way that people don't like, people don't respect. But most of my experience being a regular was pretty good. and I really cherish that. And it's happened again recently, so I figured I'd talk about it here. And I mean, that's about it. I do have to get going soon. I have like 10 minutes till I need to be out of the house. So, apologies for no streams this week. Just a lot of things, issues, and just events taking place. Like, you're gonna see this on Thursday, so tomorrow it's my manager's birthday, and we're going out. So it's gonna be a fun old time. The world is exploding around me. Okay. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Just to end deep in conversation. And I will see you all next week, assuming you're a regular. Bye now.